Okie dokie, I think I'm ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for class. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing me today, which is a shame. The reason is I woke up this morning and I was feeling a little bit under the weather. So, in English we can say, I'm feeling under the weather. I had a splitting headache, which means I had a really bad headache. And so today I've just been relaxing and trying to feel a little bit better, so I thought I'd come and see you guys. So you won't be seeing me today, no camera on, sorry about that, but I hope anyway we're going to have a really good class, which is going to be the academic writing task 1, and you'll see on the screen on the left there is one of our sample answers, which we've written a sample answer for, but I'm going to talk through it today, give you guys some idea on how you could approach this, and let's see how we get on. Who is in the chat? Let's see who's there. Lots of you coming through today. Hi to Nargiza. Hello to Nargiza. Hello to Pikachu. Hello to Jackloss. Thank you very much for your kind wishes. And it's nice that you're wishing me well. I'm feeling much better now. I just had a bit of a bad head this morning. Anyway, so we're going to go to this writing task, which you will see on the left, and I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger just here. And what we'll do is we will talk through it and give you some ideas on how you can approach it, what you need to do. So the question says, the information below shows the results of a new council speeding fine system in the town of Lanastone, which was introduced in 1992. Summarise the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Write at least 150 words. You will notice that there are two parts of this. Actually, there is a table and there is a line graph. And the top table looks at the number of speeding fines issued. And that might help if I just put a... let's see if we can add a drawing. Actually, I can't do it. Maybe if you possibly can't see my cursor, just let me do something. Trying to get something that you can see. Maybe we can't do it on here. Sorry guys. So you'll see the top part is this number of speeding fines issued, and the bottom part is road traffic accidents. So you'll see that's from 1985 all the way to 2015. So let's see how we should look at this. First of all, whenever you write a task 1, I think, actually, this is my personal opinion, I think that task 1 is harder than task 2. And I don't know if you agree. If you do agree, tell me in the comments why. I think task 1 is harder for the following reasons. 1, you have less time. So you've only got 20 minutes, which is actually not very much time at all. When I have taken the test in the past, I really struggled with time on task 1. You also have a variety of different visual data sources. You've got a variety of them. So it could be a bar chart, it could be a table, it could be a line graph, it could be a process, it could be multiple sources. And in the case of today's example, it is actually a multiple source. Okay. It's also difficult because you have to be able to interpret the data. You have to be able to find the key features. You have to be able to identify any trends that you can see, and you have to be able to not talk in too many details, but you have to cover all the information. So for me, I'll see what you guys think, but I think task 1 is harder than task 2, even though it is only worth 33% of your mark. So let's see how we would maybe approach this. Dakshila says she agrees. And Bagwant, I discord. What do you mean discord? I don't quite know that word. Angelo Cristiano says agree. Shohista says agree. Starry Hetet says agree. Who doesn't agree? Aaron doesn't agree. So Aaron says, I don't agree. Let's see whether we can do something on this one and organise it together. So the first thing that I do when I do a task 1 is I quickly paraphrase the title, and that should be the easiest part. Should be the easiest part. So if we have a look at our title again, if we remind ourselves, it says the information below shows the results of a new council speeding fine system in the town of Llanystone, which was introduced in 1992. Okay, and it doesn't actually say the 2 graphs. So what you should probably do here, it's you could say something like, the table provides information on the number of speeding fines in the town of Llanystone, while the line graph provides data on the quantity is not great actually, the number of accidents on the road between 1985 and 2015. Let's see if we've covered all the information there. So Llanystone is the name of the town. Number of speeding fines is covered, and that's in a table. The number of accidents on the road. Did you notice that what we did? We have to paraphrase, and I'm wondering whether we've paraphrased enough. So road traffic accidents is the same as accidents on the road, and we've used the table provides information, and the question says information below shows, and we've said the table provides information and the graph provides data on. So we've paraphrased that. The only one which doesn't have a proper paraphrase is actually the number of speeding fines, because if you notice, it talks about the number of speeding fines issued. I think we could say it provides information on how many speeding fines, and we talk about it in the past, in the passive tense, were issued. Okay, and so we've changed it from the active to the passive tense. Can you see how we've gone from number of speeding fines issued to how many speeding fines were issued? And the second one is in the passive form. So that would really make sure that you are paraphrasing the question. And I'm pretty sure that we've done enough there. Let's just read it again to make sure. The table provides information on how many speeding fines were issued in the town of Llanystone, while the line graph provides data on the number of accidents on the road between 1985 and 2015 in the same town. You don't have to add that, but you could. So there is our paraphrased title. Is that easy? I think that should be fairly easy. The most common mistakes that I see are incorrect use of tenses. So if the tense is in the past, you've got to keep it in the past. Yeah. If it's in the present, make sure that you keep it in the present. If it is something in the past to now, you could use the present perfect tense. So you could say it has changed. So that would be a really common mistake that I see in the test. But for now, I think my title is probably good enough. So that's the first part that we've done, and we should be good to go to the next part. Okay. Now, when you're thinking about your IELTS writing task 1, you need to think, have I covered the key features? Have I identified the main trends? And have I written an overview? So the overview is actually a key part if you want to reach a band 7. Many people write the overview as the second paragraph. Some people leave it until the end. It doesn't matter. There's no fixed way. And most people will start the overview with overall. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. What do I notice here? And the overview is the main thing which you notice. The main thing, and you do not need to give details. It's not necessary. So we can see, if I look at the main details, we'll come over to the screen which is clearer. I will say that for me, I can see that at the beginning of the period there were 250 road traffic accidents, and over the time the number of road traffic accidents goes up in the first period, but after that goes down until 2015. Okay, so it goes up and then it goes down. Let me see if I can just add some sort of picture just to help you. I'll add an arrow. Give me a second. Okay, so this might help you, or it might not. That doesn't help you, sorry guys. Normally I use Microsoft Word, but today I'm using Google. Anyway, so let me turn on, and this will help. Now you should see my cursor, which is wonderful. You should see my cursor here. You see that it goes from 250, it goes up to about just under 300, and then goes down. And then the number of speeding fines, you'll see there's no speeding fines here, no speeding fines here. But interestingly, after the speeding fines are introduced in 1995, the speeding fines are introduced, and this correlates to the number of road traffic accidents. So what we can say, what's quite easy to notice, is that before the speeding fines, we had accidents. After the speeding fines were introduced, the number of accidents started to decline or fall. Yep. So that is the main thing that we see. But we have to write that in a way which is understandable. So, overall, the speeding, the introduction of a speeding fine system in the town of Lanastone resulted in a decrease in the number of road traffic accidents. Okay? And this is basically a summary of what happened. So let's read it again. Overall, the introduction of a speeding fine system in the town of Lanastone, and there's a spelling mistake there, Lanastone, resulted in a decrease in the number of road traffic accidents. Or again, we could say accidents on the road. I hope that you see that. And actually, probably, I might keep this one to the end. I might put this down at the bottom because I feel that that's a better summary of what we can see. I think that's a more appropriate place to put it. Okay, so that's my overview. you need to have an overview. It's very, very, very important. Overview, which is a summary of the trends. Now, the big question here, and this is this is a really hard question, is how to organize your ideas. And there's a few different ways that you could organize your ideas. You could organize it by time, chronologically. So time, chronologically, or you could organize it by a particular group. There may be some category, maybe, if it's a bar chart or a table. So you have to decide. And this is the really hard part. I would look at this and I would think, what is the best thing here? You could organize it between the table. You could have one paragraph about the table and another paragraph about the road accidents. But for me, I am not convinced that is the best idea. And the reason is there is actually a big link between these two. They are the same year. So they go from 1985 to 2015. They are the same year. So what I would say is just think, what is the most logical way to organize your ideas? Okay, so for me, and this is my preference, I would do a paragraph before the introduction of the system, and my paragraph 3, because this is paragraph 2, would be after. And by doing that, it allows your writing to feel a little bit more logical. It feels like there's some sort of flow before and after. Okay, so let me see what happened before. What happened before? Well, I can see that before there were no speeding fines, and actually in 1985 and 1990, the road traffic accidents were going up. So, before the introduction of the speeding fine system, the number of accidents on the road was actually rising, or was rising. Actually, maybe is a little bit too informal. It was rising. In 1985, there were 250 accidents, and this rose to just under 300 in 1990. Okay, and therefore we've covered all the points. There were no speeding fines, and we've covered those 2 points there. Can we see that? So that means that we can now go to the next paragraph, and we can say, however, because however here would be a good way to say but, and it's contrasting. It is showing something different. Yeah? There was a change, however, and you can put the however in the middle. Okay? There was a change, however, after the introduction. Or you can say after the new system of fines was introduced, comma, in 1995, the number of accidents started to fall. Do you notice here how there's some sort of topic sentence? Can you see that this sentence here is summarizing what you see in the graph? Let's read it again. After this new system of fines was introduced in 1995, the number of accidents started to fall. Yeah? It began, okay, the number began, the number of accidents began at around 170 with 350 fines having been issued and declined constantly over the period, and finished in 2015 at around 100 fines. Over the same period, the number of that's accidents. Forgive me. So we'll check it in a minute. Over the same period, the number of fines issued rose gradually to around 600. We can say rose gradually to 590. In 2015. Now, what you should notice here, and this is quite important, you do not have to cover every single minor detail. You don't have to cover all these minor details, because what you can do is you can group this together and you can say that it started at 350 and it rose and finished at 590. Now, I admit that there is a slight decrease at the end, but that's probably too minor to be worried about. These two numbers in 2005 and 2015, they're pretty much the same. And the trend over the period declined as long as you are catching the main trends. I just need to read that again to make sure that it makes sense. Okay, let's have a look. Before the introduction of the speeding fine system, the number of accidents on the road was rising. So it was rising. In 1985, there were 250 accidents, and this rose to just under 300 in 1990, with no fines issued. I think we have to make a note of that. After the new system of fines was introduced in 1995, the number of accidents started to fall. We can't repeat the number of accidents. The figure, because this is called referencing. When you read it a second time, you notice that maybe you repeat words. The figure began at around 170 accidents with 350 fines having been issued and declined constantly over the period and finished in 2015 at around 100 accidents. Over the same period, the number of fines issued rose gradually to 590 in 2015. Is it perfect, this one? I don't think so. There's something about it that maybe I would change. Maybe the this part here is not. It doesn't feel quite right at the moment. But what I want to do is today show you that you have to think the big picture. You have to look at the overall picture. And one of the biggest issues is too many details will reduce your mark. But, and this is really important, you have to cover all the key features and you have to cover all the main trends. And that is a really difficult thing that you have to be able to do in your IELTS writing. I actually wrote a sample answer and you can download it from the IELTS Daily website. Let's see what I wrote before. I'll just copy it and put it here and see if it's any different. I haven't read this one for a long time, but I'll see whether you guys have any feedback on it. Give me a second, I'll put it here for you. Here we go. This is my other sample answer that I wrote a long time ago, and I'm just making it correct here. Good. Let's have a look together. It says, a new council-led road safety system was road safety system was introduced in 1992. That's something that we missed in the last one. That's very interesting. I hadn't caught that one because of my screen. Notice here it was introduced in 1992. That is very important for your answer because you can't miss things from the question. And if I had submitted this one, I might have lost a mark because the key feature was 1992 when the system was introduced. I could have put it here before the introduction of the speeding fine system in 1992. I think that would have been a good place to put it. Okay, so let's have a look. Continue reading. This is my second answer. And the results presented demonstrate how the system impacted the number of road traffic accidents in the town of Lanastone. Possibly better to write between 1985 and 2015. I think that word would be a little bit more, a bit better for the IELTS exam. Prior to the system being implemented, so there's a new word, there were over 250 road traffic accidents in Lanastone, 250 in 1985, rising to approximately 275 in 1990. After the new speeding fine system was introduced, things changed considerably in terms of the number of road traffic accidents. In 1990, 350 tickets were issued, and this resulted in a significant decrease in the number of accidents from 275 to around 175. From then on, this, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of a cohesive device. It is your ability to link sentences together from then on. Tickets became more common, and in 3 periods from 2000, around 550 to 600 tickets were issued. Do you notice here, again, how we've grouped data together? We've put it in a group on average. This resulted in a significant drop in the number of accidents, falling consecutively and reaching a low of 100 in 2015. Reaching a low. We've got it as a noun here. It's reaching a low. The introduction of this new traffic management system in Lanastone has had a profound impact on road safety by decreasing the number of accidents year on year. Does anybody have any feedback about either of those two writing samples? Feel free to share your advice, share your ideas. What do you think about this? Facts about life. Is it okay to write accident repeated? Possibly not. Are there any other ways that we could write accident? So, road traffic collisions, maybe, possibly. It wouldn't be deaths because it doesn't necessarily mean deaths. Anybody want to share their ideas here? So Ashraf says tickets were issued in 1995, not 1990. Actually, they were issued in 1992. Bless on Baby asks, in the last paragraph of second writing, has, and had together. Isn't that wrong? Has had. Let's have a look. Good question. In the introduction of this new traffic management system has had a profound effect. No, this is the present perfect. That is correct. That is correct. Lun says, does disaster work? No, it doesn't, I'm afraid. By the way, Sukhbir, you don't have to repeat yourself if you are writing the same thing. You don't have to copy and paste. Encyclopedia Guy, unfortunate incidents, no. I can see that you guys try really hard to write synonyms. Sometimes they don't just know, they just don't work correctly. Omin, vehicle crashes. We could say crashes maybe, yeah. Alia says road injuries instead of road accidents. Well, it's not necessarily injuries. It doesn't mean the same thing. Nikita says mishaps. No, it's not the same. And I think this is a really important point, that sometimes synonyms, words which mean the same, okay, they have very exact meanings. So when we've used the word mishaps or injuries, yes, they have a very loose link to the word accident, but they don't necessarily mean the same thing. So mishaps and injuries in this case, you cannot use that when you're talking about the road. Anything else? Anna Diaz. Sir, if the given situation happened in the past, so you will use the past tense for the rest of the writing task. Yes, or you can use the past perfect if you are linking two periods together. Yes, you can, but if you are using two periods together. Please show me the full map and chart with the answer. You can actually download it. I'll write it in the chat. You can actually download this from the IELTS Daily website. I will find you the link right now, and so that you guys can download lots of sample answers and work through them. This one is one of the ones which you can download. So I'll post that link in the chat. It should be at the bottom of the chat there. Jennifer Pinto says car crashes. Not entirely sure that car crashes would work either. It doesn't exactly mean the same thing again. So in the chat there, you can see the link to the writing, the link that you can download those answers. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for coming along. Go and do some writing. Don't forget, if you want to have extra feedback, you'll see some people in the chat who are green. I think I remember Anna is one of our members. I think she's a superstar member. So you can be a starter member or you can be a superstar member. If you're a starter member, you will get writing feedback. It will be basic writing feedback on your task achievement, your coherence and cohesion, your grammar, and your lexical resource. Okay, and I'll give you a score for each. If you are superstar, you get the same thing, but you get a special Word document. You will get a Word document, you will get annotations, you will get specific feedback on your mistakes. Okay, so the starter member, you'll get the areas that you need to improve, but the superstar member will get the exact information, the exact problems, and will highlight the mistakes that you're making during your writing. So those could be very useful for you, and I'm sure that our superstar students like Anna will agree that you, like we've got Anna here, and Yehetet, and Hauri, and lots of people who are in green already are already members, and they get extra feedback. So you can also watch all our old live classes. It's super useful. Right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much. Hope to see you on the future episodes. Don't forget, we have our Wednesday class. Don't forget to put that in your diary. I hope to see you all then. So for now, from me, it is great to see you. Bye, 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 bye. And Ashraf asks the last question, how to become a member. Some countries do not allow it. So I remember that Pakistan is a country that doesn't allow it. You either have to find a VPN or you have to accept that you're not able to. It's a real shame. You just have to go to the IELTS Daily website. The IELTS Daily YouTube page. I can quickly show you it now, actually. If we go to, let me open it up for you so that you can see it. For some countries, this does not work, which is a real shame. It's a real pity. I'm just opening it now so that you can see it. Give me 2 ticks. 2 ticks in English you can say, which means give me 2 seconds. Alright, you will see on the screen now where are we? I was almost there. Here we are. So on the screen now, if you go to the IELTS Daily YouTube page, you will see a section called Join on the IELTS Daily YouTube page. A section called Join right here. If you don't see this button, if you can't see this button, that means that you are in a country that doesn't allow it, which is a real shame. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go and have some rest. Take care of yourselves. It was nice to see you. Be safe, be kind. Take care. Bye.